Nvidia unfortunately had a red day today. The stock was down roughly 1%. Nothing crazy. We can see after hours the stock is also down. I mean, Nvidia has been on a tear these past few days and just pretty much the past month. Let's just be honest, the past year to date. So kind of seeing some red day right now wouldn't really bother me too much as a long-term investor. On today's episode, I want to do the following. I want to take a closer look at three topics. The first topic is obviously the 10-to-1 split that is expected to happen really, really soon. Second, just my overall thoughts on Nvidia. Yesterday, I did an episode, and I just want to be a little bit more clear on what I was talking about. So I'm going to share a little bit more thoughts on that. And finally, we did have reports that United States is kind of going with some antitrust. It's doing some investigation on Nvidia, and there's a lot to discuss there. So let's take a closer look in today's episode.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
So let's just start off with the 10-to-1 split. So each record holder of common stock as of the close of market on Thursday, June 6th of 2024, which is today, will receive 9 additional shares of common stock to be distributed after the market closes on Friday, June 7th. Trading is expected to commence on a split adjusted basis at market open on Monday, June 10th. So that's the first topic. The second topic I want to kind of talk about is kind of my overall thoughts on Nvidia. So yesterday I did a video and I pretty much titled it, I hope I'm wrong about this, or something like that, where it makes it seem like I'm bearish towards Nvidia, and I just kind of want to clear out everything that's happening and just answer the questions here and have the questions right in front of me so you guys can understand what I'm saying. So question number 1, has the recent price action changed any of my views as a long-term investor? Will Nvidia still be my number 1 holding? Yes. Well, no. The recent price action has not changed any of my views as a long-term investor. Nvidia will be my number 1 holding for a long time. And not unfortunately, luckily for me, the size between my number 1 to my number 2 is so drastic. But I do believe Nvidia in the future will be the number 1, the largest company in the world. So question number 2, and I think this is what I really wanted to kind of discuss in yesterday's episode, is would I buy Nvidia right now? And my dead honest truth is no, I would not buy Nvidia right now, even though in the long term of things, I believe there's a lot of growth potential for Nvidia. So just because I believe the stock will go super high, I don't believe the journey there is going to be a straight line. It's going to be filled with ups and downs. And I believe, not necessarily a guarantee, but I believe the chances of it going down in the short term is a lot higher than it going higher. Again, that is why this company, though, even if I'm wrong, I'm still keeping it as my number 1 holding. Question number 3, do I believe Nvidia will become the biggest company in the world? Agree. I just kind of answered this previously, so I don't know why I'm asking it again. But yes, I do believe Nvidia will be the number 1, the biggest company in the world. But like I mentioned previously, that even though I believe the market value of Nvidia will go much higher, I don't believe it's going to be a straight line. Do I believe Nvidia could see some correction, and when? Yes, I believe that the market always gives us buying opportunities. The real question is when those buying opportunities are there, and are we going to grab that opportunity and run with it? Personally, I believe I am. I follow this company like no tomorrow. I know the ins and outs of Nvidia. So if I see a correction, I tend to buy the dips. So I do believe we could see some correction. The market always gives us opportunities. The real question is when. Would I scoop up corrections? Yes, 100%. Do I think it's foolish to lock in some gains? No, definitely not. If you told me, hey, look, you sold a small position of your huge position to grab in some gains, I don't think it's the smartest move, but I also don't think it's the dumbest move. The real question, and someone asked this on the comments yesterday, is what would you do with that money? Do you have some place to put that money? Sometimes even doing nothing and just putting it maybe in a high yield savings account could be a good option until we get those opportunities in the future. Now, do I think it's foolish to sell 20% of a position? Again, I don't know. I would never judge anybody for making any decisions, but I personally would never sell 20% of my position based on recent price action. Like I mentioned, this is my number one holding. If I was to ever sell shares, it would probably be in the single percentage digits of my position, and kind of go with the previous topics of, hey, look, maybe using that money to go into some other investments that I want to build up my position in. But overall, I'm still a long-term Nvidia bull here, and I just kind of wanted to bring that up to the viewers.
Before we go any further, we are now on the road to 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Thank you all for the crazy support. So if you haven't and are enjoying the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button. Finally, if you want to support the channel a little bit more, make sure to check out my special offer at fool.com/Jose. Now back to today's episode.
Now, the final topic I want to take a closer look at is this. So US regulators to open antitrust probes into Nvidia, Microsoft, and OpenAI. And it seems like there's going to be two groups. So first is the FTC. They will take a closer look into the Microsoft and OpenAI partnership. If I may be honest, there might be something there. Then the second one is going to be the Department of Justice will focus on Nvidia, and the investigation will focus on the company's conduct rather than merger and acquisitions, according to the sources. So that is the one. Obviously, this is an Nvidia episode. That's the one we're going to focus on. Unfortunately, I'm not an antitrust person. I don't know what type of questions they're going to ask, but fortunately for everybody and for myself, I follow this company to the T. So what I ended up doing is I actually ended up going to OpenAI, ChatGPT, and kind of posting the article and saying, hey, look, if you were an investor or if you were kind of trying to find out if Nvidia could be guilty or not guilty, what are some of the questions that us as investors should kind of think about? And then we have some amazing, amazing questions. And like I mentioned, while I'm not someone who knows the law, I know the company pretty well, that I would say. Obviously, I don't know it all, but I want to say my knowledge on Nvidia is a little bit above average, that I can answer a lot of these questions from what we know right now. So the first kind of set of questions was kind of talking about market dominance and practice. Does Nvidia hold a kind of a monopoly position here in the AI chip market? And if so, how has it used this position to influence market prices or restrict competitions? So while Nvidia does have the largest market share in the AI chip market, I wouldn't call it a monopoly. We have the MI300X, we have the Intel has their overall AI solutions as well, with the Gaudi 3 and the upcoming Falcon Shores. And all those companies, right, have pretty much said, hey, look, we are a great alternative and great competition to some of Nvidia's AI chip. So I believe just by that, by the competition being there, it kind of releases this threat of Nvidia having this monopoly position. And I don't believe it has influenced market prices or restrict competition at all, because we have seen a lot of startup companies also start up here in the AI market. And Nvidia, one of the things that Nvidia is known for is their chips are actually more expensive than other competitors, right? I think Intel was just mentioning that their chip is about 1/3 the price of the H100. So I don't think they can really see anything about market dominance and practice. Second, has Nvidia engaged in any exclusive agreements with AI developers or cloud server providers that prevent them from using competing chips? I think here the answer is no, but there's going to be an asterisk that I'm going to talk about in a bit. But we've seen Microsoft, right? Microsoft is a huge user of Nvidia's chips, but they're also using AMD's chips. And I don't believe that Nvidia, obviously there could be some internal, but Google and Amazon, they have the optionality to use AMD's chips. Unfortunately, they just don't choose to do it. So I don't believe here in the market dominance and practice that Nvidia has anything to worry about. Now, the second question set was talking more about pricing and sales strategies. The first question is, are there any instances where Nvidia has engaged in predatory pricing, intentionally setting prices below cost to drive competitors out of the market? And Nvidia can easily just show their financial sheet and be like, no, we're actually doing the opposite. We're increasing our prices like no tomorrow. Our margins are so high. So competitors are actually flooding into this market because they believe that they can compete. The second thing, has Nvidia used its pricing power to unfairly raise prices or impose unfair terms on customers once competitors were weakened or eliminated? I don't think we can really answer that question because at the moment there is no elimination of competitors. We've seen AMD and Intel proudly say that, hey, look, we are competition to Nvidia. So I think the competition here is going to definitely help out Nvidia one way or another, because if they believe they're competitors, then there's no way the Department of Justice is going to say, hey, look, Nvidia, you're doing some anti-competitive stuff. Now, blocking competition is the next set of questions. Has Nvidia been involved in any practice that intentionally blocked new entrants from entering the AI chip market? I'm going to say the answer is no. I mean, we've heard about Grok, right? That AI chip that everybody's talking about. All these other big tech players are designing their own AI chips. We have the MI300. We have, like I keep talking about, we have Intel's Gaudi 3. So here, Nvidia is not blocking competition at all. Oh, actually, kind of go back into one of these questions. There was a question here in market dominance, and I'm sorry for disturbing this amazing thread that I have right now. But one of the questions was, has Nvidia entered any exclusive agreement with AI developers or cloud server providers? So I don't think Nvidia has had any with the big major cloud server providers. But maybe, again, this is not a public company, there might be something with those companies like CoreWeave, those other kind of small cloud server providers that Nvidia has invested in. So maybe those can create some form of cracks here. But again, with the major cloud server providers, the ones that hold the huge market share, I don't believe there's anything to worry about. Now, where were we? So the other one was, are there any allegations that Nvidia has used its influence to disrupt or undermine competitors' supply chain or access to key technologies? I don't think this is the case, right? And the HBM3E and all this HBM memory has gone through different customers. We've heard of partnerships with Samsung partnering up with AMD, Nvidia partnering up with SK Hynix, Advanced Packaging Solution. We've heard from TSMC that they're working really well to make sure they allocate enough capacity to all their customers. It's not like they're just favoring one. They're giving advanced packaging to this company, aka AMD, and to this company, aka Nvidia. Now, the next topic is collaboration and information sharing. Has Nvidia engaged in any collusion with other companies to fix prices, limit productions, or divide markets? I don't believe that's true. I think Nvidia has actually done the opposite. A lot of their AI software solutions has opened up the market to all types of large language models where you can use Llama 3, OpenAI, cloud. You can use all these different types of clouding solutions. And they've had brought kind of the AI market into local and more open source environment as well, using their own AI chips. So I don't believe they're limiting productions or dividing the market. Now, the next question is, are there any document instances of Nvidia sharing sensitive competitive information with its partners or using insider information to gain an unfair market advantage? The only unfair market advantage that Nvidia has is they're just too damn good. So the final questions here on the guilty side is, any impact of innovation? Has Nvidia market behavior stifled innovation by other companies in the AI industry and in the AI and tech industry? And I actually believe it's the opposite, right? AMD now is doing a yearly cadence very similar to Nvidia. They announced it in their Computex keynote, where this year they're going to release the MI325, next year the MI350, and the year after that the MI400. So Nvidia could say that, hey, look, our innovation is actually pushing other companies to innovate even faster. So I don't believe there's anything there. Are there any examples where Nvidia practices have prevented smaller companies or startups from developing or bringing new AI technologies to the market? Again, I believe it's the opposite. Thanks to Nvidia's AI chips, we are seeing this huge growth of different types of AI solutions, and not just favorable to one company, right? Because of Nvidia's AI chips, we have multiple large language models like the OpenAI, like Llama 3, and like all these other players. It might be a different story if Nvidia was like, hey, look, we're only going to give our chips to OpenAI, and they're the only ones that are going to be able to create large language models, because we're not going to send chips to anybody else. So in form of the guilty side, I believe there's nothing to worry about here. So in forms of these antitrust probes for Nvidia, I personally wouldn't be too worried about. I believe I gave some great examples in this video. I don't know if the same could be said with Microsoft and OpenAI. That's something that might take a little bit longer, in my opinion. But definitely, I want to hear from you guys. Did you guys enjoy that Q&A session? I personally learned a lot thanks to OpenAI here. So take care, guys. Have a good day, and see you all next time.